Hello everyone and welcome back to yet another Jurassic World Evolution 2 video. Somehow Jurassic World Evolution 2 is almost a year old, which is just crazy to think about considering I started this channel before it was even announced. A game that's responsible for my channel, a game that's responsible for me making so many new friends. It's a game I have a lot of respect and love for. However, the question does beckon 1 year on. Was Jurassic World Evolution 2, or is Jurassic World Evolution 2 worth it 1 year later? In today's video we'll be taking a closer look at the DLCs, general updates and just generally how the game plays 1 year on. And of course inevitably determining whether or not JWE2 is still worth your money in 2022. So with that being said, if you do go on to enjoy today's video, let's try and smash 30 likes. That'd be awesome, and if you're not already, please do consider subscribing as we're rapidly approaching my goal of 2,000 subscribers. And let me know down in the comments whether or not you think JWE2 is worth it, or, still playable 1 year on. And with that being said, I'm not going to waste any more of your time, and let's get into the video. So, broadly speaking, Jurassic World Evolution 2 is still a very enthralling game nonetheless. That is of course if you've only just started playing it, because when you've been playing it for almost a year, you start to notice the replayability problems. Which brings me over to the first section of conversation in today's video, being, unsurprisingly, the replayability. I'm not sure about you lot, but the main issue I'm having with Jurassic World Evolution 2 at the minute is that since I've completed the Dominion Bayous and Expansions campaign, I don't know, despite the game having a sandbox, it still almost feels like once you finish the story and, the challenge modes and the chaos series, once you finish all of that, the game kind of feels done. And I get the entire premise is to build the Jurassic Park of your dreams, but I still like the occasional challenge, and, it gets repetitive just playing challenge mode, and I know there's not a blatant fix for this. However, I was kind of 50-50 when it came to Frontier giving us every single dinosaur just unlocked from the start of the game. Like, that's something that Jurassic World Evolution kind of did well, and I know I requested it at times, and I know it was just generally heavily requested to give us every dinosaur from the get-go, but at the same time, I kind of feel like it added to the sort of, work to unlock stuff kind of aspect of the game, and I feel like that was actually, despite us not enjoy doing it, should I say, in Jurassic World Evolution and at the start of JWE2, I still feel it was crucial to keeping us almost enthralled in playing the game. And I understand that I'm a bit of a hypocrite when I say that I don't want every dinosaur from the get-go, because I did request it. However, upon second thought, when you think about it, in Jurassic World Evolution, that sort of aspect of having to work to get the dinosaur you want, it kind of made the game better in a sense, because now that I don't have anything to work towards, I've got literally every DLC, every dinosaur you can get, it removes a lot of the fun, I feel. And I thought Frontier were finally redeeming themselves with the replayability issue with the Dominion Bayous and expansion, and in all fairness, they did, but they definitely overhyped the extra campaign. The building Biosin aspect of it was probably my favourite thing in the game. It was very much a fun thing to progressively unlock all these dinosaurs, because you could still move on, but even when you had all the dinosaurs, you wanted more and you could get more, and that's what made it so fun, the aspect of unlocking the dinosaurs that you really want. Now, I'm sure you could argue, Celino, just go play challenge mode, but I still feel that removes an element of the almost excitement of unlocking these dinosaurs, because you're not unlocking them exclusively through that challenge mode when you've already got them. So my overall point here is, if you're looking for a game that's got good replayability that you can keep coming back to, I mean, if you like park building and that's really what gets you going, then yeah, Jurassic World Evolution 2 is probably a good game for you. But whereas if you're someone that's looking for a more sort of enthralling experience, it's not got that replayability that you might desire. Especially on old gen, because we don't even have mixed errors currently, so when it comes to creativity, we are very much limited. However, credit where it's due to Frontier. I know that they're very sort of widespread when it comes to content drops, but when they've given us a DLC, it generally comes with an update, and these updates have just improved the game. Now, don't get me wrong, I know I sound like I'm contradicting myself there by saying the updates were good when they gave us all dinosaurs, but that is purely just my biased opinion, because At one point, I did want all the dinosaurs, but I just feel it's removed a certain aspect of the challenge of the game for me. It's rated a PEGI 16, but generally it plays like a 12, or may I even be as bold to say a 7. And I'm not at all hating on Jurassic World Evolution 2, even though I may sound it. I have mad respect for this game. It's literally built my channel up from the ground. However, you know, if you're generally someone that's looking for a game that's replayable, that's exciting, it's not the game that we all thought it would be. However, I do respect Frontier's attempts at bringing it back with all of the DLCs, because let's be honest, there's not a single DLC minus potentially the deluxe edition expansion. It was incredibly underwhelming. But point stands, there's not a DLC that I haven't enjoyed. They've all been, in their own respects, generally quite exciting, and they introduced unique dinosaurs, and especially stuff like the feathers. I mean, the Dominion Biosyn expansion for 16 quid, it was definitely a DLC worth buying. Go check my review out on that if you're thinking about buying it. So the game has positives. It plays well in certain aspects, but again, it's more of a 7 or a 12 than a 16. I mean, when we're thinking about creative, you know, a realistic park or even zoo building experience, this is far from your Planet Zoo, and that's where Prehistoric Kingdom is simply a better game. But we aren't here to talk about Prehistoric Kingdom. My overall point I've been trying to make so far this video is that the game almost feels easy, and when it's a 16, I feel like there should be more elements that make it a more difficult game. And I get that one of the biggest premises of it is to play sandbox, which is fair enough. However, even then, in the sandbox, we're extremely restricted with how creative we can be. There's not even anything like workshops where we can check out other people's parks or download mods. Because trust me when I say that, that would be the thing that gives Jurassic World Evolution 2 that creative spark that it's in dire need of. But anyhow, I do just quickly want to go back to my point about DLCs. My favourite DLC after the Dominion Biosyn expansion is the early Cretaceous pack, but I think it's, you know, reasonable to suggest that every dinosaur and creature featured in the early Cretaceous pack was meant to be in the game anyway, but just wasn't, because it was a good opportunity for Frontier to make a little bit more profit. I mean, let's be real, who's releasing DLCs 1 month into their game's launch? I mean, Frontier apparently. But really, there's no way I can necessarily be negative about the DLCs. They all have good value for money for what they offer. They're all unique, respectably, and yeah. But the main issue with them is when they're released. They're released too widespread apart for it to actually be or keep the game sustainable. The current system is we get a DLC and content once every 3 months, and I think this system is honestly killing JWE2. The way I think it should work is that we get a DLC every 3 months, that stays the same. However, instead of the big content drop being with the DLC, it should come somewhere in between. This way they were getting consistent updates and it keeps the game playable. Because let's be real, who's not going to return to a game they spent 50 odd quid on once it gets new content? If you enjoy the content, you're going to keep playing the game for, even if it's just a week, it still gets minutes on the game, which is frankly what JWE2 needs at the minute. However, to sort of wrap up the video, to answer the question 1 year on, is Jurassic World Evolution 2 worth your money? I can't actually give you a fixated answer. It's heavily dependent on what kind of gamer you are. If you're someone that plays for the sandbox, yeah, it's probably worth your money. If you're someone that plays for a campaign, then no, probably not if you don't buy the Dominion Biosyn expansion. And even if you're young though, I feel this is still a good game respectively. This is just my views on it. I feel that it's a good game for what it is. However, there's so many like mismanagement issues that it's really killing the game at the minute. The lack of content is killing me, so let's just hope this supposed September DLC is good. However, on that note, that does just about wrap up today's video. If you have enjoyed, please do consider liking and subscribing. I'm really pushing for 2k as well as 30 likes on today's video. So if you haven't already, just go down there. It takes, what, 2 seconds of your day, and you're probably clicking off this video anyway, so it just makes sense. Go on, like. But with that being said, thanks for watching. I dearly hope you've enjoyed, and I do hope to catch you in the next one.